Okay, so before we talk about this situation, I didn't really watch Technoblade like that, but I do understand the impact that he had on the Minecraft community, as well as the legacy that he leaves behind. And with that comes a lot of, people who look up to him, right? There was an emergence of the YouTuber LARP epidemic. And of course, someone who I assume that looked up to him made a channel called TechnoLarp, basically cosplaying, playing the character of Technoblade. Okay, first of all, I don't really like LARP YouTubers just because it feels like you're just piggybacking off the success of someone who's already built up their name. Obviously, if the YouTuber that they're LARPing after or LARPing is okay with it, then who am I to say? This is a totally different situation because Technoblade unfortunately passed away a few years ago. And I just don't like the fact that he's making a name for himself and piggybacking off the success of someone who's passed away. So when I saw this video, I was like, yo, that's a little weird, like why is he making a video acting or playing the character of Technoblade? I thought, there was gonna be like a lot of negative feedback in the comments, and I was like, wait, what? People were actually okay with it. Like people were like, yo, keep going. It feels like Technoblade's still alive because of you, or like you're carrying the legacy, which I totally understand. A lot of viewers, they miss Technoblade. They miss his content, they miss his humor, and in a sense, this gives them like comfort when they see this channel. However, I saw an entire video of Penguin Zero, Moist Critical, aka Charlie. He made a video about this whole situation recently. Skeppy was like a really close friend of Technoblade back then, and he made a whole video with TechnoLarp. I don't know why Skeppy thought it was a good idea, but Charlie brought up a good point. He's like, yo, TechnoLarp, why didn't you go into the video as yourself? Not playing the Technoblade character, but like being yourself in the Skeppy video. And I totally agree with that. It's like even Technoblade's father, he said, oh, I don't really know how to feel about it. I feel very uncomfortable with this situation. Like, because apparently TechnoLarp reached out to Technoblade's dad, or, he asked like, oh, is it okay if I make videos as TechnoLarp? And even his father was like, oh, I don't really know how to feel about this. I feel uncomfortable because, you're acting or cosplaying or LARPing as my son who's passed away. And I feel like there's nothing wrong as long as like he was giving all the money he earned from this channel, because he's living off of someone's name. And apparently he was like, all the money that I earned from this channel to charity, right? But however, I don't know if he deleted it already. There was a community post where he was like, oh, so is it okay if I start earning money through like a donation link to a personal fund as well? Yeah, so right here. So we hit 40K. I've been thinking financially I'm not in the greatest position, and this channel makes no money. I would like for it to all go to charity when it does start making money. However, hosting all these events, blah, blah, blah. I get it. Like, it takes a lot of money to host all these events, but he started asking people like, oh, am I allowed to keep some of the money? Which I was like, no, that's kind of weird, So today he dropped the whole video talking about the end of TechnoLarp. And it says right here, TechnoLarp has ended. I will be changing the name soon. YouTube won't let me right now. I also don't agree with this. Just leave the channel as it is. Don't post anymore. Don't earn anything anymore. Give the rest away to charity. That's my take on it, because this feels weird. It's like, oh, you've already made a name for yourself. You've already garnered a fan base off of someone else's name. Now you're gonna change your name and live off of this success? That's why I feel weird about it. He made a whole video today, 16 minutes long, the end of TechnoLarp. Let's see what he has to say. Right. I feel like this could have been a much shorter video, but hey, let's do it.
So it's finally happened. TechnoDad gave the response. As you can see, I'm in my normal skin with my normal name, and I'll explain why. TechnoDad's response, I'm sure
this doesn't have to, like, he was coming up with arguments even after Technoblade's dad felt uncomfortable about it or whatever. He was like, coming up with reasons. This could have been a 1-minute video. He could have been like, I'm sorry that you feel uncomfortable about it. I won't continue this anymore. But let's see what he has to say. Let's hear him out.
Reddit post and link in the description. It's to quit the Technoblade.
Oh my, he really does sound like him.
Which honestly,
some people say he's using a voice changer. I don't know. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
I'm really relieved that I even got an answer. I didn't really mind if it was yes or no.
But yeah, he does sound like him.
Any decision, right? So the answer was to stop the Technoblade persona or anything similar to it. Now, I can't really change how I sound,
Okay, okay.
like my voice, because like it's my normal voice, but I can definitely take off the skin. I can change the name. The name of this channel is TechnoLarp.
We got to read the comments after this,
but
too.
I don't know, maybe like tomorrow I'm gonna change it to like Striker MC or something, and I want to explain everything about that. A lot of you have been telling me that you want me to just be myself and make videos in my own personality, which I think is a really good idea. This could just be like the Minecraft channel, because as some of you know, I have another YouTube channel, but it's just like horror game content. But with that being said, there's going to be hate on anything that I do at this point. And one of the things that's going to be brought up is I am taking the TechnoLarp viewers and turning it into my personal gain. Which I believe that to be wrong. So I wanted to say that if you guys are only here for the Technoblade persona, like the Technoblade stuff, I highly advise that you unsubscribe.
But instead of doing that, just make a new channel, because then you don't have to worry about that. They'll be there for you if you just make a new channel and just leave this as it is. Like, let this be a piece of history, you know, your history of making content.
It's up to the viewer at the end of the day. I won't force you to unsubscribe. I won't say you need to keep watching the content. I don't really think that's up to me.
There's an easy solution, bro.
Like who I am as a person and you like the future videos that are coming out, go ahead, you can watch them. There's going to be nothing related to Technoblade in them, really, other than how I sound. But again, I can't really change that, and my mannerisms are just similar naturally. But if you notice that like a video's coming out and you're not really watching it, then you are able to either not watch it
but I will say though, if this voice is real, he's probably one of the more like uncanny or like very similar to the original, like voice wise, I guess, because like there's a LARPiplier as well, and he's nowhere near what Markiplier sounds like with the super deep voice and stuff.
I won't feel bad about anything that you do. I think that TechnoDad's decision and the viewer's decision matters a lot more than mine when it comes to the content. TechnoDad doesn't want the persona anymore, and you guys, the viewers, wanted me to be myself. So I'm respecting both of those wishes and just essentially doing a rebrand, because I want to also do my own editing style and do some other ideas that wouldn't really be very Technoblade of me. I just want to do my own thing, right? So there's that. You guys can just call me Striker now. I know a lot of people already have been. A lot of people know the difference. Some people might ask like, well, what's going on with Skeppy? I'm not really sure. He hasn't really said too much on the matter. I think he'll eventually see me as more than just TechnoLarp, and if he hasn't already, I don't really want to go too deep into that. It's all up to him. And then there's questions about the LARP SMP. So the LARP SMP, if you don't know, was a dream SMP recreation in a way, but it had like some extra people that were never in there. And the people that are in the SMP,
how do you guys feel about the
kind of slowed down a bit?
This situation.
They might get on it. It definitely hasn't gone to a full stop. We're still planning things through with that, but I won't be streaming it as TechnoLarp. If I ever stream LARP SMP, it's gonna be as like a spectator, just like showing you the story that's going on in it. I'm just gonna be like a host essentially. The TechnoLarp videos will stay up for the time being and not be monetized, and neither will this video. If I'm told to take them down at any point, I can do so. So I guess save them while you can if you want to keep them for any reason. I'm not a big fan of deleting like history of things, because I mean everyone's gonna have it anyways, but I don't want to benefit off of it, so monetization's not gonna be enabled on them. Now as for the people on Twitter, or X if you want to call it that despised me with all of their soul, I'm gonna just say it, Simon Hypixel. I think it got a little crazy, and I'm sorry about that. I hope you didn't genuinely mean everything you said, but you haven't banned me from Hypixel, so I don't know. Hopefully I don't get banned from Hypixel.
What did Simon say? Did you guys ever see?
I did was not for some crazy evil scheme. I was just trying to have fun doing the LARP trend and everything.
Oh, I see it. Hold on. Let me pull it up if Twitter even loads. What did Simon say? Simon says, Technoblade being roleplayed by a YouTuber, this is horrifying and I do not see it ending well. I only answer to him. It's an incredibly unfair position to put Technodad in. He's grieving, and any answer he carries, if he says yes, blah, blah. It could encourage thousands of others to do the same, creating even more pressure to accept this as normal. If he says no, he's forced to publicly confront someone using his son's identity. He should never have been put in that situation. And a future rebrand for the YouTuber would not fix this. If you build an audience by role-playing a passed away creator, then changing your name once the backlash comes too much, you still use that person's identity, fame, and fan base to grow your own platform. This feels like it's genuine, like, you know, it's a genuine criticism. It's not hate. From the outside, it looks like an attempt to become a pseudo replacement for the real Technoblade. I don't really see it as a replacement, but it does seem like, you know, you're writing off of someone's name and likeness. I knew Alex before he had an audience. He helped us during the early days of Hypixel, spent time with the team, and was simply a good human being. He was the only creator we ever held a ceremony for when giving out YouTube rank. I also made videos with him, something I rarely did over the past 15 years. This week, or the week I learned Technoblade passed away, was also the week of my first son was born. I remember holding my newborn and thinking about Alex, and telling my son that one of my friends had just died. That is how personal and painful this is for me. So yes, I'm upset and angry. Watching someone roleplay as our, you know, dead friend while showing so little regard for his family, friends, and legacy is deeply disturbing. The leaked chats make it even worse. I've seen more than has already been shared. To me, this does not look like a tribute. It looks like exploitation. I can only imagine how the people closest to Alex are feeling right now. You know, honestly, man, this is like this should be cut and dry. You know, like, don't do it. Like, why would you do this? When fame gets to someone's head, or like when numbers start to get involved, then people's judgment becomes clouded.
Making content similar to one of my favorite creators, which eventually led to people like doing terrible things. I still will be doing charity streams in the future because I feel like even though I'm telling people to unsubscribe if they don't like the new personality and all that, there's still gonna be some lingering ones that are just here for the way I sound, and that's okay. But I feel like I should probably not get like 100% monetary gain from that. That doesn't seem right to me. Never has. I know I've been open about everything from the start, and those who've been here from the start and know all of that, they were here. You guys know everything. This video is not for the people who have never watched my channel before. This video is not for the people who have never seen Technoblade before. This video is not for the drama enthusiasts waiting to see what happens next. This video is for the people who genuinely care about what's gonna happen next to the channel that they've been watching for a month. A short time period, I know.
I don't think TechnoLarp knows what he's doing is disrespectful. Of course he knows. Of course he knows.
If there's a bunch of like moist critical fans in here wanting to know what I'm saying, yeah, sure, go right ahead. I have a feeling everyone knows that the video made by Charlie kind of blew things out of the water, but it was just his opinion. And I also,
in my opinion, he didn't blow anything out of the water. I don't know.
So respect that. But yeah, everyone is hopefully getting the answer they wanted. Hopefully everything's...
And my advice, or like my opinion, is to just make a new channel. Leave this channel be. Just like let it go. That's it.
Fine.
Then you won't have to deal with any future issues,
having
dude.
Fun, relaxing, watching some videos on YouTube about a video game called Minecraft. I also maybe gotta apologize to Tubbo for how much like crazy things were being said on his post that he didn't even think was like that crazy of a statement.
What did Tubbo say?
He just said, "Oh, I'm a little gray about this," and then it like blew up. It genuinely blew up, and
he didn't know how to feel about it either.
A little confused why.
When I first saw his Skywars video, I was like, "Wait, isn't this a little weird?" Like, if it was like a YouTuber that was alive, you know, I'd be like, "Oh, okay, yeah, whatever." A little weird, a little strange, but I don't know. He's probably just a huge fan, as TechnoLarp might be as well. You know.
I get that. I didn't know this channel would blow up at all. I thought it was just gonna be a small thing. LARP Penguin Zero said that I'm gonna surpass him eventually, and I told him I wouldn't. He has like what 20 something K subscribers. He's pretty cool, by the way. You guys should check him out. The LARP of Moist Critical. He's pretty cool. But I didn't think I would surpass him, and I did very quickly actually. So yeah, I didn't think this would really go anywhere. And once it did, I realized that a lot more time I had to put into it. And I don't think every decision I made was correct, but I tried to do what I could at the end of the day. I'm gonna probably give everyone time to watch this video. By time, I mean like a day or two before I switch everything, because I know this video is gonna reach out pretty dang fast, and even after that, people are gonna still see it. So I just want to give like a day or two of time so people know what's happening. People know what's coming. They're not, because I feel like not even like everyone knows about the TechnoDad response, and this video is here to publicize it. Remember not to harass TechnoDad, any of his moderators, any of that. We all respect the decision.
Why would anyone?
We made that very clear.
Why would anyone harass him?
That we were not trying to like trap him into some guilt thing. It's nothing like that. We all respect the decision. It's all right. As I said, I really didn't mind what the response was as long as I got one, and I didn't want to even pressure that. But enough about that. What type of content am I gonna make now is probably what you're wondering.
So that's pretty much it, right? That's pretty much it, because whatever comes next is just gonna be what he plans to do with the channel. Now people will forget about TechnoLarp and say that you sound like Technoblade for the rest of eternity. That's exactly why you should just leave the channel as it is. Then you don't have to worry about that, right? The top comments, let's check it out. If you truly have respect for TechnoLarp, you would delete this channel, whether intentional or not. You use the dead man to gain 200k subs. It's a really bad look if you ask me. Agreed, you're gonna miss TechnoLarp, but I think you're gonna be one of my favorites regardless, and that's fair. You know, he misses TechnoLarp. A lot of people here, they just really miss Technoblade as a creator. Not in a mean way, but if you keep the videos up and the account was built of a LARP, seems like you gained a lot from something the dad was never okay with to begin with. He said he plans to keep the videos up too, because it's a piece of history, which I feel like if you wanted to do that, just leave the channel as it is. But yeah, anyways, that's just my 2 cents on the situation.